Mr. Ashok Bhan, would you like to say something now? Mr. Ashok Bhan?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, please speak for a couple of minutes.
Friends, I have sat through almost 1.5 hours, more than that, to listen to most enlightened interventions of very experienced friends across. And it was really heartening to hear each one of you. And I wish to not respond to anyone, but make my presentation in the most shortest form with 5 points I have in mind. A, that the happenings of October are not only gruesome, but they are brutal, barbaric. Why do I say so? That from 2nd October itself till 16, there have been killings of civilians, local and non-local. And what is the reason for this? Reason, according to me, is that the security ecosystem, which is robust, existing in Jammu and Kashmir at the moment, and which in the past has killed most of the very virulent ideological and operational militants and their leaders. It has broken the backbone of militancy in Kashmir, and it has sent shivers to their masters across. And to revive the waning and dying militancy, the masters across, through the execution of locals who are recruited at a very teenage without knowing any reason, and they know it is death for them also. And after Bindru's killing and after this October killings, you have seen how many of them have been liquidated. And there is one more factor of this new crop of militancy. There is a big vested interest operating in Jammu and Kashmir, particularly Valley. The vested interest is those property grabbers who have grabbed the property of the Kashmiri Pandits for songs, those who have vandalized the properties of religious endowments of Hindus and grabbed it eventually. And the campaign is still sustaining. I have a house, even I have been approached during this week 12 times. It is right in the heart of the city at a very prized position. I have been offered a bomb for that, and I was inquiring about it. When I inquired, came to know that it is some bank official who says I can get 10 crores loan from the bank for this property. I said, all right, he seemed to be genuine. But when I dug slightly, and there was a militancy element into it, because that is the only house located on the roadside of airport. And my signboard, deliberately I have put up a signboard 6 months back there, and it is most visible and prominent there. So this is a big vested interest operating. This is my personal knowledge about it. And this vested interest and militancy has a nexus. This nexus resorts to such killings. There's another factor in this. Factor is there's a rumor going around. In Kashmir, the rumor mill is as strong as hundreds of channels of TV. And it goes like Suchana of RSS. It goes Sina Basina. It travels that Government of India is thinking and planning the return of Kashmiri Pandits to start with. And alongside that, they are also sending some Hindus of India to change the demography. This is a buzzword. And on this, the response of Kashmir militants and this vested interest is, and there is a political vested interest also associated with this, a bit of it. This is another factor. The third paramount factor is that in 1989, if all of us recall, Soviet Union withdrew from Afghanistan and there was fall of Eastern European states. The indigenous movements took over and the plebiscite and self-determination was the rule of the day. So that time, Kashmir also became the victim, and Kashmiri civil society also became fearful and victim of terrorism because there was no government at the center, there was no government at the state level. Farooq Abdullah left the state at the mercy of militants. Government of India was unstable. It was plagued with infighting everywhere. And this instability continued for a while, till the time Narasimha Rao came in. And Narasimha Rao stabilized. I think Manishankar Iyer would be privy to that. He stabilized. And the JKLF was the first to surrender its arms in 93-94 itself. That was the aura of the government of India started prevailing in government in Jammu and Kashmir. When the stability came in central government, JKLF surrendered its armed struggle. We should be privy to the facts of the history also. Now I come to the present context. Now the mightiest America has withdrawn from Afghanistan. And in that Soviet context, Soviet was not that powerful as American in the international relation. And there's a psyche that if Americans can withdraw from Afghanistan, they have withdrawn and left so much of arms and ammunition wealth there. And Kashmiris, some percentage of Kashmiris have this feeling, who are ideologically for anti-India, who are for plebiscite, who are for accession to Pakistan. It's a very small margin though, but they have high hopes internationally at the moment in the current dynamics. So therefore, this is another trigger point. The final trigger point is that the absence of engagement, as everybody of us are conscious, that engagement is the sine qua non of any dispute resolution or any problem resolution. Unless you engage, I would not go to the extent of engaging with the elephant in the room, that is Pakistan. At least I will go for engagement between New Delhi and Kashmir. And I was happy to note that Prime Minister had started that process himself. I was the first person to have talked to the highest in the state government after this Bindru's killing, that why don't you take civil society meeting, at least if not political meeting, and get a statement issued after meeting them. I was told that he doesn't have the mandate to do that. In this government, the problem is everything is done in Delhi and by one singular or two persons at the most. They have not left it to governor to take a call on politics, on engagement. I'm telling you, it's an authentic, I think Mani will endorse it.
A minute more, Ashok ji.
Yeah. I'll take another 2 minutes. So the vested interest has responded against Kashmiri Pandits and against the Sikhs as targeted killings. Targeted killings are heinous. Kashmiri society has condemned it unequivocally. They came to the streets political spectrum has condemned it. Muzaffar Shah rightly says that every Kashmiri's heart bleeds against this. And every Kashmiri, for that matter, is civilizationally very rich and civilizationally very emotional and very cultured. But the problem is that if in the absence of any engagement, meaningful engagement, politicians have also a vested interest. When I was talking to few politicians, they said, yeah, we have a vested interest of our elections. If I become an MLA, I have at least 50 families to feed. I have at least 10,000 people as my support base. So I will move around and help the situation instead of this. They have a point, but it is fraught with the vested interest. They want as quickly as possible the elections to be held. So combination of this, all put together, I'm not going to Pakistan's dialogue. Whenever it will happen, that will depend on the situation. And I don't blame Prime Minister for this. He made an attempt at an early stage of his tenure. Pakistan responded with terrorism. And Pakistan basically, they did not want dialogue. India wanted dialogue. Even we are pressing as peacemakers, we are pressing for dialogue. And Pakistan doesn't respond at all. By sending Kasturi here or few of the Dows here does not mean that the Hawks, if you see Foreign Minister of Pakistan talking rubbish everywhere, he goes to London and incites London diaspora of Kashmiris, saying that you will see Kashmir will burn again. This is authentic. On his way back to Pakistan, he had a luncheon meeting with Kashmiri diaspora, including Mir Puris. And what rubbish he has spit venom there against India and Kashmir. And this is in the government. How can Modi talk to them? It's not possible. Modi in right earnest followed a doctrine of Vajpayee of engagement in the first place. If the response comes negative, what can he do? He has to respond. He has his own constituency. He has a big India to govern. There are diverse interests in India to govern, to consolidate. So therefore, I don't blame Prime Minister. I'm not holding any brief for him. I'm just objectively telling my people, my friends, that this is the situation. And in Kashmir context, until you send Kashmiri pundits in large numbers to Kashmir, they will continue to be the, sitting ducks as vulnerable to militant attacks. 4,000 employees, what do they do there? They can't do anything until it's your obligation. It's the obligation of entire nation to build a consensus political. I'm requesting Mani Shankar, I'm requesting Tariq Ami Saab and everybody that built up a national consensus for the return and rehabilitation of entire population of Kashmiri Pandits back physically in Kashmir. That is how it will not make them targets. They are targets because they are very less in number. If you give them some composite habitation somewhere, it is not necessary that we ask for one-time settlement at a one place. We can go to 3 district headquarters and stay there in a composite habitation. Victims of militants, Muslim victims of militants, Sikh victims, and we as the victims directly. We can have 3 smart cities. What is the big deal? As Inder Gujral once said, Mani must be knowing, when he was dealing with this problem, as Prime Minister, he said that even if the coffers of Indian state have to be emptied for this illustrious community to return and rehabilitate, that is still a less price because their contribution in nation building is so enormous. So this sentiment has to be built up as a consensus. It can't be built up by Modi itself.
Please conclude.
I'll conclude. It has to be built up as a political consensus in the country. And you must have a vision to deal with the situation. Today, I feel India is alienated in Kashmir, not that Kashmir is alienated from India. India is alienated. And this development is also a hoax that Modi is marketing there. What development? Between Indira and Sheikh Accord, this was the first condition that Sheikh said after getting power. He said that I give moratorium to my politics for some time and usher in a new era of development. From 75 onwards, the Kashmir is on the path of development. See the progression there. What nonsense is this? That development will have development. No, you shall have to win the hearts and minds of the people and integrate Kashmir and have sense of integration of Kashmir with 370 is gone. I don't say that it is dusted. It is gone. It is sub judice. Let it have its own dynamics. But till then, at least, win the hearts and minds of people. That can't be won by only development. That can be won if the aspirations at the local level and engagement at the local level is done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Friends, we had a very interesting, thought-provoking, meaning